Good afternoon, everybody. Still afternoon. Thank you very much for spending this valuable time here. But before I get on to what I want to say about the convention, I'd like to recognize a couple of people who we missed in the morning and then talk about the convention. I'm not going to bore you now because there's been so many speeches, presentations, and more speeches. I'm going to keep it flat 2 minutes and close this whole thing and let you guys have a nice time. All members of NAR India and all international guests should assemble between 7 and 7 p.m. down at the lobby. The board members of NAR India, past presidents, past secretaries, chairman, who's right in front of me. If I've missed out anybody, and all the international visitors, I request you to be downstairs at 7 p.m. Inform the others so that we will proceed to a restaurant after that. General body members, governing body members of NAR India. Stand corrected. Thank you, Jeetu. Thank you, Ravi. Well, the first person I'd like to recognize here is Sam Chopra, who's done such a wonderful job being an MC. I don't see Sam. The second best person who did the excellent job here was, where is Jayant? Not the second best person, but the person who did the second job as an MC. Thank you, Jayant, and I think we have a memento. We'll give you a memento. Another gentleman who played a very active role behind the scenes, who helped me organize the speakers, did a wonderful job. He's now going to organize the arrangements for the evening. His name is Tony Kunal, wonderful human being, one of the best architects in the city. He really played a role in helping me coordinate this convention. He's not here, but he sent me a message, but I would definitely like to recognize Tony for his excellent services. His architecture, his interiors are fabulous. He's a very shy person, doesn't want to come on stage to be recognized, but this will be on record to say that we recognized him. One of the international guests who we called his name and wasn't present at that point of time is a gentleman by the name of Mr. Ryan Abdul Jabbar. Can we have the Saudi flag flying, please? Ryan comes from a background of development. I know his father and Ryan for the past couple of years. Just to give you a background about him and his company, they have built a lot of apartment buildings in Jeddah and Saudi Arabia, and they've done a construction of the Clock Tower building in Mecca, which is a landmark and iconic building. And they've also built apartments. Each apartment has its own elevator and a Rolls-Royce car that went with it. So Ryan is looking for business partners to see if he could do business, take contracting companies, develop management companies to run his business. So he's here looking for partners. I'd encourage you to go and meet him and see how you can do it. I'll work out my trade arrangements with you later on. Ryan, can you please come up to the stage to be recognized? This convention to put together in this short period of time, I was never for having this convention this year, but if it wasn't for our forceful Honorary Secretary Mr. Ayub Khan of both BRI and NAR India, who said that we must take it this year. I said, let's wait for another venue which was promised to us by Prestige. He said, no, let's do it. And I must place and put on record that he was a pillar of strength and support. He gave me all the backing. Sometimes he faced the brunt between two stalwarts. We have a saying in Urdu, and I want to repeat this to you guys, gentlemen. Sarote ke beech mein supari. You know what that means? That means the nut between the cracker, the nut cracker, pressed from both sides. He went through a major setback. He had a heart valve replacement. He's good as new for the next 100 years now. May God give him long life. I pray that I want him to stand beside me. There are a lot of unseen heroes. One such hero is my younger brother, Zahid. I don't see him here. He was a pillar of strength and support, and he stood by me managing the business, taking care of my aged parents. One is 96, my dad, and my mom is 91. And in the past 3 weeks, they've been in and out of hospital. They've not been well. And I want to acknowledge his support and unstinted support. I can be a terrible boss, a terrible brother, a terrible human being. When I want things done, I want things done now. And he and my team have put up with my nonsense. I would like to apologize to all my friends, my teammates, my players who have supported me in this, because to make this conference to this level, we had to push things, and we had to push things real hard. If I didn't put the pressure on them, I've been traveling the globe, attending the FIAPSI World Congress, going to Daniel to attend the meeting at New York, then going to Chicago, coming back and flying to Philippines. I think I must have traveled to close to about, which month are we in now? In August, from the beginning. I must have traveled to over 45 countries in these past months. And this was done as a representative of NAR India, of BRI, and FIAPSI, where I'm the president of the World Council of Brokers. So it's a lot of hats that I wear, but comes down to one thing: my home association, BRI, without whose support I couldn't do any little thing here. Then there's one gentleman who's the president of BRI, but he has behaved like the typist, he has behaved like the peon, he has behaved any job, he never said no. Willingly, he has sat down. I haven't completed. He sat down 9 in the night to do the manuscript correction, and I apologize, there have been a couple of glitches, but those were printing errors. I accept total responsibility for all mistakes made. I am responsible for it. But the gentleman came back home the next afternoon at 1 o'clock. 9 in the night to 1 in the afternoon to get this manuscript ready. Then there's another gentleman, a colleague of mine on the board, very unassuming, very humble. His name is Nasser. Nasser stood in the airport from 9 in the night to 9 in the morning, receiving guests. That's just the past 2 days. But the past 3 months, they've been sitting down in my office, following instructions, following orders. I've been a slave master, whipping them all to get the job done, firing them, telling them, listen, we need to do this, being very brutal at times, but they've put up with it, and it is for this day that they were here. They've done a fabulous job. That's not all. We have another gentleman who's Mr. Afzal. That's last. Afzal is a treasurer of BRI, and Afzal has been burning the midnight oil, organizing for meetings with the ministers, coordinating PR jobs, anything that's possible. Afzal, have it done. Have it done. Man always smiling and getting the job done effortlessly, always telling me, Farooq bhai, it'll be done. It'll be done. As I hadn't gone up out of this hall since I came here at around 9:45. And he said, sir, your presentation, you need to be there in the next 10 minutes. 4 calls, I got him reminding. Afzal's gone, found the vendors. Where can we get the stuff cheapest? Where can we get things done? Then we've got somebody who else in the... where is Wasim Tahir? Wasim handled the entire process of registrations, telecommunications, the entire system of marketing calls. The whole responsibility was dumped on to Wasim and his team, and they did the best job that they could. And again, he's been in and out. He's been leaving the office at 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, leaving his business, neglecting his family. And I'll tell you, each and every member has played a vital role here in this. I think I'd ask you to please move across because this list is going to increase. I have no written speech, but I'm just thinking, just keep moving. I tell you what, don't stand, sit down. Yeah, the last chair. Then we've had the BRI board members, a pillar of strength and support, a colleague who co-founded BRI along with me. We are like 2 railway tracks. He's got his views and I've got my views, but both are very important for the growth of this association. We agree, we disagree, we fight, but at the end, we're buddies. We're always there together. None other than our past president, Mr. Irshad. Can I have him up here, please? I don't need to say much about Irshad, but all of you who know him in BRI and NAR know what he is, how he is. He's my inner conscience. He tells me to my face what he thinks is wrong and what he thinks is right. He might not always be right, but I respect him for that. I appreciate his frankness and his brutal straightforwardness on what he thinks. He calls a spade a spade. Sometimes he even uses it as a bulldozer. Thank you, Irshad. There's another gentleman who I would fail if I don't call him, is Mr. Hasib. Hasib's the man who manages all the money. Very stingy and miserly person. Keeps asking me, what do you want the money for? Do you have a proper account? We have not used a single cent of the association money for preparations of this convention. Each one has played a host in their own places where these meetings were conducted. Each one has not used a cent of the association money for anything that we have done. So everything has been gratis. It has been from our own pockets. Not 1 rupee of the association has been spent, because we believe that this is association money and not our personal money. And we believe that if you want to come and serve on an association, the first thing that you should remember is you've got to be selfless. You don't need to come here to use and spend association money. If you feel that you're doing a job, you put your money where your mouth is and serve the community to see what you're doing. Have I got all the board members? Where is Mr. Farid? The late Mr. Farid, please come up. Farid again is a fabulous worker.
Wonderful.
Very silent, very quiet. Farid executes whatever jobs that need to be done, patiently pursues it and has it completed. All these gentlemen standing here, one member, I must say, beyond the call of duty. He's not even a board member, nothing to do with the board, just a member of the association, Mr. Khader. Now this gentleman, he and his 2 sons, please move ahead, Mr. Gada. Why don't you sit down? I think it'll be easier. Volunteered to come and assist in the mementos. He's done a wonderful job doing this whole thing. Not just this. Whatever we needed, he would be the man Friday telling us, I'll have this done here, so I think I know where this can be done, where this should be done, how we would have this done. And willingly, he and Afzal have been partners who have again spent time till 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning. Then I promised somebody who's the secretary of BRAI, Mr. Zakaria. I told him I'd like to give him an easy chair as a present on this. Please come in, Mr. Zakaria. You're sitting in his easy chair. I'm sorry, I don't have the easy chair, but Mr. Zakaria is a little laid back as far as I'm concerned, so he can't work on my speed, so I can't handle him. So I told him I'll present you with an easy chair, Zakaria, something to remember on this convention. But Zakaria, thank you very much for all the effort that you've put in. Zakaria has done a wonderful job following payments, making certificates. I mean, the whole lot of the office work has been, it's the second office, I would say the 4th office of BRAI. Now, the other 3 offices of BRAI, I would say, have been my brother in his personal capacity. He is now a board member. Both my sons, Danish and Zayan, who I wouldn't call on the board for reasons which are, they're members, they've been here, but I wouldn't invite them on the board here. But I would like to recognize them for the part that they have played in advising me. And most important, my wife, who's not here. And my grandson's in the hospital today. He's been dehydrated and she's with him there. She's put up with all my nonsense for these past couple of months where I've been away. I haven't gone home earlier than 3 or 4 in the morning for the past 3 months. We've been working tirelessly to get this whole job moving and to bring it to this level. She told me, listen, this is your passion and I don't want to come in it because your work seems to be your first wife, I'm your second wife. So I said, as a Muslim, I have an option of 4 wives, but I'll restrict it only to 2, my passion and my first wife, and she'll always be my wife. Last but not least, my secretary Raina. She's been a pillar of support and strength. She has been in the office till 4 in the morning, gone alone in her bike home, supporting all these board members getting stuff out. Sometimes one of our board members has gone and personally left her at her home. Sometimes the car has gone with her, left her and come. But she's done a wonderful job. I've been a brutal boss with her when saying that I need this, Raina, and I need it now. So Raina, please come up. Raina's the man Friday in the office. Anything you need is Raina. Raina, do this. Raina, call them up. International, you take care of it. So anybody wanting to steal Raina from me, I got 1 or 2 hints that they're wanting to steal. You're going to be at war with me. And you don't know what that means. I must say, I would be failing in my duty if I wouldn't recognize Jeetu, who at the inception of this conference, we called him up, bugged him up, time and again, Jeetu, how did you do this? How did you do that? I think he must have got fed up with our calls. It was Ayub or me bugging him every day for something or the other. Jeetu, please come up. No? Another person who's the chairman of NAR India, Mr. Ravi Verma, I'd request him to please come up on this dais. Ravi is one person who we have an age difference, and every time I call him sir, he feels offended. And he sends me a message, call me Ravi. Ravi's been a great strength, a pillar of support. We've agreed to disagree at times, but we're the best of buddies. We all know that we have to work for NAR India and we have to work for it. Ravi was responsible in getting sponsorships from Pune, and he did a fabulous job. He and his team were following it up with us. Thank you, Ravi, for doing what you did. His is the only association. I would say Ravi did this not even in his association capacity, but he did it in his personal capacity to raise money for NAR India. Each and every member, I'm not going to go into the logistics of who raised what, but each and every member standing here was instrumental in raising funds to get this event done. But I want to share a small anecdote with you, and I said this sometime back to somebody else also. I would kick the ball, pass it to somebody, and they would go and shoot the goal. Irshad kicked the ball, I went and shot the goal. Likewise, it was teamwork, team effort that made this whole convention a success. We've raised close to 6.35 crores. That's over $1 million just for this convention. And this wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for the support of each and every member present in this room or who is a member of NAR India, because we said this is NAR, and NAR is what has raised this money. So my thanks to NAR India, each and every member of you who has, there are a lot of people who tried raising. I would be failing in my duty if I wouldn't mention the Mysore Realtors Association, who said we would help you. We won't be able to get you money, but we would do resources, we would get this. I thank you, Mysore Realtors Association. If you have one representative from your board, I'd like you to send them up to the dais, please. Anybody from Mysore here? Pramit and Monil, Fantastic guys, both from Ahmedabad. We were trying to get the governor to be our chief guest. He had committed to come today for the closing ceremony, but unfortunately he fell ill. And Pramit, where is Monil? Okay, you come up as you and... I don't know, I seem to be looking out for faces that I've missed out. But I can only say, Vijay tried his best. Vijay, please come up. Abdur Rauf Saab called me up and said, how can I help you guys? Where is Vinod Thakkar? Vinod, please stand up to be recognized from the Mumbai Area Association. Please come up, sir. Vinod Thakkar helped us in the program, followed up, coordinated a lot. All these gentlemen and ladies here might not get mementos, but the idea of gathering them up here is to recognize their contribution towards this event. The most important people who did a job that nobody could get the time to do, and they were the BRI volunteers. Can I have them all up here and a loud round of applause for them? I'm not going to call the names. All of you who are volunteers, please step up to the dais, please. BRI volunteers. Stand here to be recognized, please. Where is our immediate past president, Mr. H.L. Bagra? I don't see him around here. Bagra ji, if you sit down in the corner, you're just immediate past president. You're still supposed to be here. Please come up. Jayant, can we have you up? Jayant was one guy who was in constant touch with me, telling me that, do you need the services? I'm always available. And he's been here and he's available the whole day, the past 2 days. If I've missed out names, I think we've run out of space. One lady who's been silently working behind the scenes on the NAR India. May I ask Pushpa to please come up? Anybody else? Pushpa, may I call upon the fathers and the founders of this association. They're the strength, the backbone. They are none other than the advisory committee of National Association of Realtors. Some of them were my colleagues when we formed this association. I'd like to recognize the faces that I see here in front of me. Mr. Kishan Malani from Pune. Mr. Kalpesh from the advisory committee, past president of NAR India. Mr. Sridhar Reddy, who had to leave because of some surgery of his mother-in-law at Hyderabad, so Sridhar had to leave. Please, sir. And there's one guy that I'm going to fight with, and I told him I'm going to punch him later on. And I'm going to do that with him, but not on this stage here. He's my buddy, Shailendra from Hyderabad. Shailendra Singh. Where is one of our founders of, and the past president of NAR India, Mr. Sachin Shroff? I don't see him around. Sachin, are you here? Sachin, if you're here, you need to come up to be recognized. Okay. If I've missed out on anybody, Mittalji, who's one of the past founders. Why are you sitting down quietly, sir? I asked for all founders. Huh? And there's another guy who we've always troubled every time. He's quietly sitting down there and wondering. He's none other than my friend, Mr. Ajay Agarwal from Kolkata. Ajay, come up. Do I have any other founders, past presidents, secretaries of NAR India who are missing? Please come up. If I've forgotten some names, please come up. But this list is not full. It's a lot of people who've helped these people to bring about this whole convention. I'd first like to recognize the services of our past presidents and secretaries. We'd like to present them a memento. This is not in any order of priority. I think the gentlemen have found a way of doing this. So as and when they call the names, I'd like them to please come up and be recognized. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Gada. Just tell me the name. Who? Dr. P.S.N. Rao. Dr. P.S.N. Rao, he's absent. I'd request Mr. Ravi Verma to accept it on his behalf. Mr. Ravi Verma.
Since it's coming in order, Mr. Farooq Mohammed. Mr. Kishan Milani.
Thank you for the love and affection showed by you folks. Really appreciate this.
Bolo. Abdul Rauf. Mr. Irshad Ahmed. Mr. Naresh Malkani.
I'd request Shailendra Singh to please come up and accept it on behalf of Mr. Naresh Malkani. Most of you who are not, I request you gentlemen to be standing here, please. Sridhar Reddy is also. Naresh Malkani, I must add for the record of you who don't know him, and he was the founder of the National Association of Realtors. He's the gentleman who played a very vital role in bringing National Association of Realtors to India. I'm not going to get into the whole chronological affair of how it happened, but I must tell you in a single sentence, he is the man who brought NAR India to this table here. And I think we would be failing in our responsibility and duty if we were not to recognize him. And I want to give it to a very dear friend of his who is in constant touch with him is Mr. Shailendra Singh, who's a protege, a friend, and a well-wisher of Mr. Naresh Malkani.
Mr. Sridhar Reddy.
Sridhar Reddy was again one of the former presidents of this association, and I would like to give Mr. Shailendra Singh this memento to be passed on to him, please.
Now finally for Mr. Shailendra himself.
You know, Shailendra Singh is a pretty popular guy, and I'm not going to give him this. I want our chairman to give this to him with a big hug.
Mr. Kalpesh Shah. Kalpesh.
Mr. Kalpesh Shah. He's the past president of NAR India, past president of ARIA. We always have blow hot and blow cold with Mr. Kalpesh Shah. Mr. Kalpesh Shah, very nice guy. But I had a tough time for the past 5 years on the board of NAR India, explaining to him what FIAPC is, what ICRIA is. I hope today, Mr. Kalpesh Shah, you've seen all these FIAPC members and you've seen all the ICRIA members. I hope you know, and if there's some clarification that I can do, I'd love to do it off stage. But thank you for being a pillar of support. It's you who made me this much more stronger to do whatever I had to do. Thank you, Mr. Kalpesh Shah.
Mr. Pramit Parekh.
The reason to raise the question was only that all new board members used to come every year and they should know what it is and they were feeling shy to raise the question. Therefore, I was raising it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kalpesh.
For the clarification. Pramit Parekh. Pramit Parekh. I told already. Mr. Sachin Shroff.
Sachin was one of the founders of NAR India. When we first met at the Shangri-La in Delhi, Sachin was one of the founders. He's again a very silent worker. And he's done a wonderful part in bringing NAR India to where it is. I would say he's been a past president, done the Delhi convention. I thank Sachin Shroff for his support and his help. Thank you, Sachin. This is tough. He's Ayub Khan. He wears two hats. One, the hat of the National Association of Realtors, where he's secretary. The second hat he wears is the secretary of the Bangalore Realtors Association. Fabulous gentleman, fantastic human being. I would ask you to stand up and give him a standing ovation, please.
Thank you.
Except for the BRI members. What's coming next? I'd request the BRI members to stay on stage and everybody else to please take their seats. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Farooq.
Oh, I'm sorry, we forgot to give Mr. Mittal. Mr. Mittal is one of the founders. My apologies. Mittal ji. Can I have the BRI volunteers please come up on stage to be recognized? I'm sorry we didn't have space, that's the reason we didn't invite you. But we want you up on stage for a picture with the current BRI board members. Please come up, please.
Naveen John. Okay. Ismail Sharif. Okay. Zabiullah. Narayan Prasad. Wait. Narayan Prasad. Iqbal Sharif. Mohammad Fayaz. Mohammad Fayaz. Saud Ahmed. Mohammad Umair. Mohammad Umair. Govardhan Das. Govardhan. Munir Fazal. Hamidul Rahman. Hamid.
He's not there, sir. Nisha Ghaffar, she's also not there.
Nisha Ghaffar.
She's not there. She's not there. She said Jamil Ahmed.
Sayyid Jamil Ahmed.
He's not there. He's not there.
We'll say the name. Sayyid Nadeem Inayat. Not here. Mohammad Shakir Qureshi.
नहीं sir, ये नहीं.
Rebecca. Rebecca Nainan.
She's not there. Gayatri Nayak.
Gayatri.
She's outside. You do that, sir.
Abdul Rauf.
Anjan Banerjee is not there, sir.
Anjan Banerjee.
Mohammad Munawar.
Mohammad Munawar.
What about that lady who's standing there?
नहीं है sir. वो गए.
Hubert. Hubert.
नहीं है.
वो lady का क्या नाम है?
No, Nasima. Is Nasima here?
No, she's also not there.
She's also not here.
That other lady is standing
कहाँ
there?
है?
Komal.
बाद में देंगे.
Komal. Komal Gopal.
असरार शेख के देखो बाद में दे रहे हैं. असरार शेख के देखो बाद में. असरार शेख.
Asrar Sheikh.
He's back, sir.
Now next. After they go.
Yeah,
After they go off, now next person.
Except for the BRI board members, I request everybody else to step down, please. Thank you, thank you.
Our BRI manager, Mr. Zakaria. Where are you? Rana. Rana. Okay, once I didn't hear you. The Silver Line Executive Secretary to Farooq. She's done more work for BRI and NAR than for Farooq. Sorry, I forgot to mention Bilal's name. No, he is Wasim's man. Bilal. Thank you, Bilal. Thank you very much.
Come on, come on. Well, Bilal comes up on stage. I want to share something with you. None of these gentlemen are wanting to accept a gift. Come, Bilal. As a gesture, each volunteer here has spent his time, money, energy, effort, which I've mentioned to you. And as chairman of this convention, I have decided to present them each with an iPhone along with the memento that we would like to present to them. Our immediate past president, Irshad. Mr. Irshad Ahmed, to please come up. Mr. Farid. Zahid Mahmood, my brother and partner.
Farooq has a sense of humor. When he gifted me this iPhone, I said, why is this? You're giving this to me now. So I like to share with all the audience here. He says I should not create trouble to him. Sense of humor.
I said, let me bribe them at least. If not, no. Mr. Afzal, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a great honor to work with this great gentleman, Mr. Farooq Mahmood, who has been like an elder brother to us, who has been tough at times, and he has hugged us and given that love and affection. But for him, we would have not done this convention. I salute you, sir. It's like mission accomplished. It's an honor working with you, sir.
Last but not least, oh God, I thought we gave it to him. Now this one gentleman, I would request you once again, and please give him a standing ovation, please.
One thing I'll say with all sincerity. First, on the facetious side, lighter side, he said he's a terrible boss, terrible something else, terrible, full stop. But that's only at times when he's been driving us. But without him, honestly, this convention would not have taken the shape that it has taken. That is absolutely beyond a shadow of doubt. Beyond a shadow of doubt. The drive, first of all, the vision. I was always against it. I said, you're aiming too high, you're going this. And he was right. If you aim at the stars, you'll shoot at the trees. Fine. So the vision, the drive and the energy which he has brought into it after that is truly amazing. Truly amazing. And honestly, Farooq, I thank you most sincerely for that. Most sincerely.
The past president of BRAI, Mr. Farooq Mohammed. Past president of BRAI, Mr. Farooq Mohammed.
May I request Ms. Pushpa to please come up to be recognized and take her memento, please. Okay, gentlemen, I've done my bit. Mr. Ayub Khan.
I just want to say one sentence because I can't say anything more than that. I had a dream, but he fulfilled it.
I'll come. I think that since 3 months, what he has put his efforts, it's impossible, no words, we can thank him for bringing to this level, and except him, nobody else could have done this. During this course of this journey, we both had a lot of differences of opinion, and I'm a little outspoken person where I don't stop myself with my temper. This is my weakness. I find something is wrong, I just, I have outburst. With all this nonsense what he took from me, Farooq, as he mentioned, it's like two tracks, two are together, that is the strength. So we started differing a lot, and in spite of all this, I think he has put up a great show, Farooq. So I would like to acknowledge this with our chairman, NAR India chairman, current president, immediate past president, with our board members. On behalf of NAR India and Bribe, we would like to honor him.
One second, before. I just want to share with you a few statistics of what we've got. We have 70 billboards across the city speaking about this convention. We've released close to over 10 full-page advertisements in Times, in Vijay Karnataka, Rajasthan Patrika, Salar, Kannada Prabha, each and every newspaper. We had 8 metro cities that carried a half-page ad of NAR India. We had some of the delegates picked up at the airport, right at the aircraft door, given a VIP treatment, brought into the lounge, immigration cleared there, taken a VIP lane. I would be failing in my duty if I wouldn't thank the support from Mr. R. Roshan Beg, who is the Minister of Information, Information Technology and Hajj. The man went out of his way to help us. In fact, he gave me blank letterheads of his, fill in the message and print it. I mean, that was the immense trust he had in me when I said, I need the letter now. So we were at a meeting in somebody's place. He called his PA up and he said, "Ye le lo sahab aap." I said, "Khali hai sahab, sign karke deta hu." So that was the immense trust that he had in me, and the trust not alone of him, but each and every member of NAR India who supported me in this dream of making the Bangalore Convention happen. And by God's grace, I must thank my Almighty. We all believe him and call him in different names, but he is only one. We call him Allah. I thank Allah for having blessed me with such good friends, such good people who stood by me and supported me through thick and thin to get this thing done. We've used our best offices in whichever way we have done to get this organization correct. I'd like to recognize the presence of guys who helped us put this whole thing together. Our event managers, dream merchants. Can I have Hanif, Hajara, Nisar, Firoz, Sriram, all of them up here on stage, please.
Yeah, we'll finish this first. Let's honor Farooq Mahmood first, and then this continues.
The maker of that memento is on the ground floor of Farooq's office. So we had to hide ourselves about 3 times when sneaking in and out to give him the order, check the order, receive, etc. But Farooq didn't know about that, thank God.
I must, before just handing over this cold piece of wood, it's not cold. Every word written here, given to everyone, is something that we mean. And it's written, as they say, written in stone. This is inscribed on wood, which is the next best thing that we could do. I must say a few words about the team who helped us through thick and thin. We had our moments of agreements and disagreements. I'm generally known, I must say, recognize the lady, Hajra. she did a wonderful job coordinating this whole thing. Hanif, who again was there nights together getting things organized. Nisar, who sat down with Mr. Gada till from 9 in the night to 12 in the afternoon. And Feroz, who masterminded this whole thing, who sat down with his team and executed fantastic performance by his fashion. They run the Bangalore Fashion Week, and they're event managers who have experience not in running a convention but a fashion show. But we decided to take them here because we said that we needed a local team, though Jeetu and team suggested we take the earlier team, but I said no, I'd feel a lot more confident here with the local people out here. So I must thank each and every one of them for having contributed their time, effort, energy, and I think these are the guys who actually stood, sweated and got the job done. And I'm thanking you on behalf of the National Association of Realtors, and I'd request our chairman to please come up along with me to hand over these mementos. Mr. Ravi Verma, sir, please come up to do the... Can I ask Feroz, Hajra, Hanif, Sriram to come a step forward, please. And the entire team, Nisar, where's Nisar? Who's the other team? Can I have the other Dream Merchant team up, please? Come and I'd like to recognize their services and help. Wonderful job. Give them a applause, please. A round of applause for Dream Merchants. Thank you very much. I'd like to now hand over the podium to Mr. Ayub Khan to conclude. Who? Yeah, can I have imprints? And can I have Sheetal, Param, or somebody from Sheraton, please?
Omar is his son, Inayat's son.
Or Chandan, Param?
But these boys have done excellent.
Where are the Dream Merchants? And I must thank Sheraton for putting up such a wonderful show. They've had logistic problems, they've had a lot of issues, but I thank them from the bottom of my heart for doing a wonderful job. I don't see Sheetal here, but I think I see Chandan and Param. Thank you, Chandan. Thank you, Param. Thank you for doing this wonderful event, helping us do this cup.
Day one, from time we have, we have met these guys. They have been a great support to us. Thanks a lot.
Do we have any of the sponsors here? Amit the Webcraft. Can we see Amit? All other vendors and sponsors, I think, are not here. Come on. And Mega Cabs.
Can we have Neeraj here, please? Webcraft.
Anyone from Marriott Hotel? Please.
All vendors and sponsors, I think most of them have left. We'll reach it to their offices. Thank you for the support, the advertisements. Certain companies gave us billboards, certain companies sponsored certain events. I thank everybody from the bottom of my heart to make this event a great, grand success. Thank you. Thank you once again. I would now hand it over to Mr. Ayub Khan, the Secretary of NAR India, to do his closing remarks. We had rooms sold out here, so we had to accommodate our guests in Taj and the Marriott. So Taj, we've already reached it. Marriott, I'd like to recognize the gentleman. Thank you, Neeraj.
For Mega Cab, who had helped us from the airport to Bangalore, to the Sheraton Hotel. On behalf of Mega Cab, Irshad is going to take.
Most of you who have got your flights, the international guests, please meet Mr. Nasser and give him your flight details, and the cabs will take you back to the airport.
May I steal the microphone 2 seconds? I agree that this has been a fantastic, fantastic convention. And we realize by seeing all the team that's around, how many people really work to make us happy so we can learn something and be better when we go back home. And I think this would not have been possible without a vision, and I'd like to recognize Mr. Farooq Mahmood, who had this fantastic vision and a whip in his hand and a gift in the other. And today, I think it's a lesson for all of us of how we can accomplish our vision, and by working together, how strong we can be. So I want to congratulate Farooq Mahmood and everyone here that has participated in this fantastic convention. On behalf of FIAPC, many, many thanks. You touched our hearts, and we go back better human beings.
Thank you very much to all of you. Thank you for miracle, India miracle. Thank you.
Over to Ayub. I'd request our board members to make way for Mr. Ayub Khan.
Thank you, Farooq. We have come to the end of 2 wonderful days of excitement, knowledge, and entertainment. We had more than 1,000 delegates participate in this 7th NR India Convention. The hosts, BRAI, have done an outstanding job and have put in their best efforts to make this convention a grand success. The list is long. I request you to kindly bear with me. I would like to thank the new President of NR India, Mr. Vijay Sarathi, the President of BRAI, Mr. NR Bigada, Vice President of BRAI, Mr. Hasim Noor, and the Governing Board of BRAI, and all the members of BRAI who worked behind the scenes to make this convention a success. I would like to thank our chief guest, the Honorable Chief Minister of Karnataka, Mr. Siddaramaiah, Honorable Minister of Infrastructure, IT and Hajj, Mr. Roshan Beg, Mr. R. Rahman Khan, Member of Parliament, for taking time out of their valuable schedule and gracing the convention with their presence. I would like to thank the Chairman of CREDAI India, Mr. Irfan Razak, and MD of Brigade Group, Mr. Jayashankar, Mrs. Mantri from Mantri Developers, and all the CREDAI members who participated in our convention. We thank you for making the time to be amongst us, and we appreciate your support in our endeavors. I would like to acknowledge the presence of all our international guests who have traveled thousands of miles to be with us. I would like to thank from the bottom of my heart our title sponsor, the Prestige Group, our gold sponsors, Kolte Patel, Spotlight sponsors, GCOP, our silver sponsors, Assets, Brigade Group, Common Floor, Mantri, Nayati, Ozone, and Shobha. Our lunch sponsors, Salarpuria Satwa, our dinner sponsors, Easy. Our delegate sponsor, August Ventures, and all our other sponsors who wholeheartedly supported us to make this convention a success. I would also like to acknowledge the huge support that we received from representatives of Cisco, PricewaterhouseCoopers, and EY. I would also like to thank the press and media for widely covering this convention. I would like to thank our outgoing president, Mr. H.L. Barga, and his entire team, and all the GB members of NAR India for the support, help, contribution, and inputs, without which it would have been difficult to organize such a great and wonderful convention. I would like to thank all our panelists, speakers, performers, entertainers for all their inputs and knowledge that they had to offer. I would like to thank our MCs, Mr. Sam Chopra and Mr. Jayant. They were just wonderful. It was 2 days of hard work for them, which was done with a smile always on their face. I also like to thank all the associations and their members for their contributions and inputs, without which it would have been difficult to organize such a great and wonderful convention. I would like to thank all the members present here. Without you participating in this convention, it could not have happened. I would like to thank the management of this excellent hotel for all the help and assistance during the last 2 days. I would also like to thank all our vendors and all the support staff of BRAI for their huge effort to help given to us. I would like to thank and acknowledge the support and help that we received from our event managers, Dream Merchants, represented by Feroz, Hanif, Hajira and Nisar. I have saved the best for the last. I would like to thank the champion of this convention, the convention chairman, Mr. Farooq Mahmood, and his entire team for burning the midnight lamp for the last 3 months and to ensure that the 7th Indian Convention is one of the best that we have had so far. I apologize if I missed out anyone. Thank you very much. See you again next year. I left out the press, the Times of India, CNBC, and all other media who supported us. Thank you very much for your support.